Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to slice into something really cool, and our guide is this global curriculum called Bake It. Seriously, we're about to see how one of the oldest foods on the planet can teach us some incredibly modern and important lessons.
So, really, what can a simple loaf of bread actually teach us about our world? Well, as it turns out, a whole lot. The Bake It curriculum really shows us that bread isn't just, food. It's kind of like a key that unlocks these huge ideas about science, about culture, and our entire global community.
All right, let's dive right in. We're going to start our journey by exploring just how unbelievably diverse this staple food can be. Think of it as a trip through the world's bread basket.
First up, an absolute icon, the French baguette. I mean, you know the one, right? That perfect crusty outside, the soft airy inside. It just feels so, well, French.
But here's the thing, and this is what's so cool. While we totally think of the baguette as French, its origins, they actually trace back to Vienna. It was perfected in Paris, sure, and became this huge symbol of daily life, and all from just 4 simple ingredients. How amazing is that?
Okay, next up, let's head over to South and Central Asia for naan. You know, that wonderfully soft, leavened flatbread that's just so good.
So, what's the secret to naan's incredible texture, that soft, chewy bite? It's the yogurt or milk in the dough, and it's traditionally slapped right onto the side of a blazing hot tandoor oven, which gives it that unique, kind of charred flavor. A totally different history, a completely different process.
All right, next up, we've got a bread that's also, believe it or not, an engineering marvel. Pita, famous for its perfect little pocket.
The magic here is just pure science. It's awesome. In a super hot oven, the water in the dough instantly turns to steam, and that steam inflates the bread like a balloon. When it cools down, boom, the pocket stays. It's the perfect example of form meeting function, and it was born from the ingenuity of ancient desert cultures.
So exploring these different breads is totally fascinating, right? But the Bake It curriculum really pushes us to go deeper. It's all about encouraging us to think critically about the assumptions we make based on food, to look beyond the easy stereotypes.
And this is such a crucial point. While food is this wonderful doorway into another culture, it's never the whole story. Stereotypes. They give us this really limited, and let's be honest, often misleading peek. Like, for instance, just assuming all Japanese people eat a sushi. It just isn't the full picture.
And to really understand just how important bread is, listen to this powerful fact from Egypt. When the Arabic word for your daily food is the same as the word for life itself, well, that's when you start to get the profound cultural weight it carries.
And that powerful idea leads us to a much tougher, much more urgent question. If bread literally means life in some cultures, if it symbolizes life for so many of us, then why do so many people, hundreds of millions of them, struggle just to get it?
This is where our journey really pivots. We're moving from a cultural celebration to a critical global issue, the problem of hunger. And this connects directly to the massive work being done on a global scale, like the UN's Sustainable Development Goals.
We're talking specifically about Goal 2, Zero Hunger. And listen, this isn't just some hopeful idea on a poster. It's a real global commitment to end hunger, to achieve food security, improve nutrition for everyone, and promote sustainable agriculture, all by 2030. It's honestly one of the biggest challenges we face as a planet.
Now, in its most extreme form, this food insecurity becomes what we call famine. The curriculum gives us a really clear definition: a serious lack of food over a long period of time affecting a really large area. But what causes it?
Well, the answer is almost never simple. It's this complex web of interconnected problems. Think about it. A drought can lead to crop failure, right? But that can be made so much worse by political instability that messes up supply chains. It's this devastating domino effect that makes famine so hard to fight.
Okay, so the problem is huge. We get that. But we're not just left feeling hopeless. The curriculum really encourages a shift towards proactive, creative problem solving. So how can we even begin to think bigger about food and these massive challenges?
One really cool method they propose is the what-if approach. Here's how it works. First, you just brainstorm ideas, no judgment. Like, what if we develop crops that don't need much water? Then you start stress testing those ideas with tough questions. What's the cost? What's the environmental impact? And finally, you evaluate everything and rank your best options. It's a framework for turning these huge, ambitious ideas into actual practical solutions.
And that kind of creative thinking is exactly what fuels the work of real-world international organizations. I mean, groups like the World Food Program, they don't just drop off food aid. They're on the ground working to tackle the root causes of hunger. Everything from promoting sustainable farming to empowering local economies.
And that brings us full circle. We started with a simple loaf of bread, and from there we've traveled across cultures, we've explored the science of baking, and we've come face to face with one of humanity's greatest challenges. It really leaves us with one last thought, doesn't it? If a single loaf of bread can hold such a massive story, what other everyday objects around us are just waiting to tell us theirs?